We've been stuck here on the Chinese train for almost an hour. There was only 3 passengers on the train. We are right about here on the planet, a place called Khorgos. The cargo train over there is the Xi'an Express, bound for Europe from China. They will get from here to Duisburg, Germany in less than 16 days. That's about 30 days faster than by ship. This is the 27th day of our trip. First day of our trip, we flew from KL to Shanghai. Shanghai and the nearby city Ningbo has the most important seaports in China. Every day, countless of containers are imported and exported from here. Shanghai is the real mouth of the Yangtze River, the longest river in China. Back in the days of pre-industrial era, the Yangtze River and its tributaries and man-made waterways forms the logistic networks that goes deep into the hinterland of China. So when the West came to China, they set foot in river mouths like Shanghai. We collect all kinds of goods from the Yangtze River, then we sell it all over the world. Almost everything made in China begins its journey to the world from Shanghai, so we make Shanghai the starting point of our trip. After 2 days in Shanghai, we took the train to a small town not far away at the south of Shanghai, Yiwu. Yiwu International Trade City is colossus. From stationery to toys to electrical appliances, even petrol station pumps, almost anything you will ever need in your entire life, they have it here in Yiwu. The made in China around the world most likely are sold from Yiwu. One would need at least 4 to 5 days to see all the stores here. Western media also call it Santa's workshop, because in addition to all the toys and gifts, 60% of the world's Christmas decorations, as well as Santa's costumes with underwear included, are from Yiwu. In the hotel I stayed, I met buyers from Africa, Central Asia, Middle East, America, and Europe. Downtown, you can meet entrepreneurs of all ethnicities. Although a small town, Yiwu is very multinational. There's a Chinese saying that goes, good temper, good business. So in Yiwu, I feel that the people here are friendly. We also went to the night market. This is our first time experiencing Pasar Malam in China. I bought a real luggage with a bargain price. Stuffed my backpack into it, makes my trip a lot easier. Then we head west, to the next city. After 4 hours on the bullet train, I arrived in Wuhan, the crossroads between 9 provinces in China. On October 10, 1911, the Wuchang Revolution began from here, which ended the 1,000 years rules of Imperial China. This ancient city gate before me is the birthplace of the Republic of China. Therefore, this is also the crossroads of the old and the modern China. In front of the headquarters of the Revolution Army, the statue of Sun Yat-sen, the founding father of China, is still standing. The Republic of China in Taiwan still celebrates October 10th as the National Day of the ROC. That is because of the revolution in Wuhan. The Yellow Crane Tower is a classic high point to overlook the Yangtze River. This is the middle section of the Yangtze River, and it is also an important hub between the Yangtze River waterway and China's railway. From Google Maps, you can see that there is a humongous train yard right here. If you look closely, you can see railways running through the entire area. I'll leave the location in the description. Have a look if you are interested. The old town area is called Hankou. Actually, similar to Shanghai, Hankou was also the concessions of Germany, France, Britain, Russia and Japan, because this is where Han River joined with Yangtze River, which makes it a logistic hub. The concessions left behind these Western-style buildings in Hankou. On the seventh day, we came to the starting point of the ancient Silk Road, Xi'an. This is the Great Museum of Steles, a royal collection of stone steles since 745. It's been in this location since 1087. From 3,000 years ago, many empires established their capitals in this area of Xi'an, including the first emperor who unified China. So his mausoleum is near Xi'an. The famous food street in downtown Xi'an is a Muslim neighborhood. Several mosques in the neighborhood are already more than 1,000 years. The food here are all halal. Muslim tourists have no problem getting halal food here. This is Shaozi noodles, which has been popular in downtown Xi'an for over 1,000 years. In the Daxue Xiang Mosque near the noodle stall, I also saw the deeds related to Admiral Zheng He, who was a familiar name to Southeast Asian Chinese. Turns out there was an imam from here who served as the interpreter on the fleet, who had saved the fleet from a deadly attack. And what the imam wants as the reward is to renovate the mosque. Zheng He supervised the renovation himself and ordered to carve the incident on this stone stele. I thought Zheng He's story can only be found at coastal areas. I was surprised to see the story of Zheng He's fleet so far away from the sea. Day 13, we continue to travel deep into Asia to go to a city by the Yellow River. The landscape become very different from now on. It's been lush green forest all the while, but we've entered the arid region. It seems there are barely any trees on the hills. Traveling on high-speed train is like getting a geography lesson. The transition of the landscape can be watched like a fast-forward playback. Then I arrived in Lanzhou. Lanzhou is also an old city. From millennia ago until today, Lanzhou has been an important city on the Silk Road. The Yellow River, the cradle of Chinese civilization, flowed through the city right here. But the areas on both sides of the Yellow River are full of mosques of all sizes. Coming from Malaysia, Muslim majority country, but never in any city in Malaysia have seen so many mosques. The elderly gather in the park by the river, hanging out, singing Chinese operas, having teas, enjoying retirement. When in Lanzhou, of course, you have to eat Lanzhou beef noodle, but contrary to popular belief, there's no beef in Lanzhou beef noodles. Actually, the noodle is 7 yuan, the beef is another 7. The way they sell it is also very interesting. You get a ticket after you paid. You then pass the ticket to the kitchen yourself. They hand pull the noodle on the spot, then the waiter will bring you the noodle when it's cooked. We also had this dessert at the bazaar near the hotel. The stall is 50 years old. The dessert is delicious, but we don't know what it's called. On the 15th day, the landscape became even drier. This is the lowest plateau. The train passed through a very cold place. Outdoor temperature was only 6 degrees. Then we saw the legendary grassland, the Danshan Warhorse Ranch with 2,000 years of history, with the snow-covered Xi'an mountains behind it. This place is so nice, like a scene of an epic movie. It's a pity that we can only pass through on the high-speed train. It will be acting cool if you can ride motorcycle across. Then we get off at Liuyuan station, follow the crowd out of the station and get on a van. I chatted with two dudes in the van and I almost fell off my chair when they told me what they do. I'll tell the story in my other videos, so hit that subscribe button so you won't miss it. It took us 2 hours to pass through the Gobi Desert. Finally, we arrived in Dunhuang. This place is already a famous attraction 2,200 years ago. It was written in travel notes by people who traveled west from China. As soon as our van enters the town of Dunhuang, I was startled by the sight of the sand mountain behind the buildings. That is Singing Sand Mountain. I can immediately relate to the hardship of the ancient traders as soon as I step into the desert. Walking in desert is so damn tiring. But stepping in the camel's hoofprint makes it easier. This is the Crescent Moon Spring, a crescent-shaped lake in the middle of the desert, a mesmerizing sight. Also, you don't want to miss the Mogao Grottos, a treasure trove of Central Asian art, an ancient site of the spread of Buddhism. From 4th century to the 14th century, it thrives because of the Silk Road, but declined in the 15th century when sea trade replaces ancient land road. Mogao Grottos was forgotten until it was rediscovered by a Taoist priest in 1900, along with tens of thousands of ancient scrolls. News of the discovery spread quickly. It was not long before the Europeans and the Japanese and the local warlord looted most of it. Today, murals and documents from Dunhuang are scattered around the world, most of them in Europe. I've seen some of them in the National Museum of Korea in Seoul. The study of Dunhuang is an academic subject on its own. It is called Dunhuangology. On day 17th, the train passes through some even more desolated landscape, but it brought us to a prosperous city, Urumqi. Urumqi is the capital of Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region. It is also the world's most faraway city from all oceans. The city is big. For some reason, it feels a bit like KL to me. I always thought Urumqi was a vast grassland. Only when I came did I realize that she was actually a bustling city surrounded by the magnificent Alatau Mountains. Although it is not yet as glam as the cities in China's eastern coastal regions, however, the urban construction of Urumqi is on par to the capital cities of some countries. The city at night is colorful and bright. The bustling and lively streets have everything you need, and it is clean, well taken care, and beautiful. Urumqi should be one of the largest cities in Central Asia, so all kinds of Central Asian cuisines can be found here. Big plate chickens, naan, skewers, and pilaf are some of the local favorites. This is Lakman. They have very high standard for noodles here in northwest China, so their noodles are all handmade. Top topped with stir-fried mutton with crunchy veggie. Tastes so good. But my all-time favorite is the pilaf. They call it polo in Uyghur, but it is commonly called pilaf in Central Asia. In Mandarin, they call it chuafan, which means rice eaten with hand. So I eat with my hands again. Eating with hands is normal in Malaysia. But then the locals were not doing that. They actually eat with chopsticks. Just do what the local do, so I use spoon instead. And the super delicious Xinjiang lamb. How I wish we can have these in Malaysia. This is Tianshi, a lake on the Tian Shan mountains on the outskirts of Urumqi. We came by bus and it's actually very time consuming, so we got here late. So do get here early if you wish to come. Bring your lunch and snacks or fruits. Just look for a quiet place and you can spend the whole day here in nature. On day 23rd, we traveled to the border city of Xinjiang. This section of the railway to the western border of China did not have high-speed rail at the time, so we rode on the green train, which is China's old-fashioned ordinary speed train. It was a night train. The journey takes 11.5 hours, so we get the bunk bed tickets. On this train, you can sing and dance. Have you ever seen a train with dance halls and karaoke? Only in Xinjiang. They also have a canteen on board with hot dishes. I was so tempting to get a Xinjiang supper before going to the bed. So far, we've traveled 5,665 kilometers on train from the coastal city by the shore of the Pacific Ocean to the border of Xinjiang, a town called Khorgos. Between China and Kazakhstan, the two countries set up a free trade zone. Kazakhs as well as the people from several other Central Asian nations will come here to shop, duty-free. Here you can cross China and Kazakhstan in one step. The world's largest inland port is on the Kazakhstan side. Every day, there are hundreds of containers, automobiles and machineries passing through this passage from China to Central Asia and Europe. This is the city of Khorgos the night before we leaving China. It's 9 o'clock at night. The sky is still bright. It's really beautiful. On day 27, we boarded the train to Kazakhstan, an almost empty train. There are about 250 beds on the train, but there were only 3 passengers, including 2 of us. The rest are the train crews. This train is not widely known yet by foreign travelers. In 2018, information about entering Kazakhstan by train from Xinjiang is almost zero. So for us to take this train, it was quite an adventure. Fortunately, everything went very smooth, without even a visa. It's like going to Singapore. If you want to know how to take this train, please let us know in the comment section below. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We will explain in detail in coming episodes. The train passed through the customs in Kazakhstan. These are the Xi'an Express cargo trains, leaving China to go to Europe. In the background is the magnificent Tian Shan mountains. The train took 2 hours only to cross the border section before we are officially in Kazakhstan. We can't wait already to explore our coming destination in Kazakhstan. Altinko, the first station in Kazakhstan, only 9 kilometers from the border. This is the first time we've seen Cyrillic alphabets on the public building. We are finally in the former USSR. Thank you for watching the part 1 of the 4 summary series of our Silk Road train journey. Do leave us comments, like and share this video, and subscribe to our channel. See you soon!